tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon, everybody. At least it's an earlier afternoon, right? All right. Happy Monday. All right. Yeah. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I saw it summing over the weekend, so right here. I really need to figure out a new lighting situation. I think I'll do that today. All right. People do that a lot with me. People sit in airports and listen to me. People, I have a lot of, the thing is, I have a lot of listeners. They just don't say anything. So my listeners are pretty quiet. All right. A little chilly. So I'm going to pick out a hoodie here. Play a little. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day for a neighbor. Won't you be mine? Maybe I could start doing that. I'd come in and just start singing. Come in and change my jacket and my shoes. So I don't like this camera. Gosh darn it. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it does not. Sometimes that does it. All right, it'll come back eventually. So we're pretty close to the 3-minute mark. The captions. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Tion. I'm feeling a little so I was gonna make some joke with the camera, but it didn't work. I'm doing all right. Actually, there's a part of me that is ready to beat the crap out of somebody. But no worries. I'm gonna take this off for a second. It is really bothering me. That is super bad. All right. Fine. I'm gonna make it go back one way or another. There we go. I'm gonna force it. So growing up, I was bullied a lot, and as I'm sure some of you were too. Not all alcoholics get bullied. I never really brought this stuff to my parents because they weren't really available. But when it came to bullies, I mean, after a while, I started to push back. I wasn't a very big kid. I was a year behind, so I was small. I was a year younger than everybody in my class, and I was already kind of a small kid anyway. But that didn't stop me. If I saw something wrong, I did or said something about it. It's just the way I've always been. Injustice drives me nuts. It does. Injustice drives me nuts. And when it comes along, because things are going to happen in this life. Okay. I'll give you, you may not understand this. So when you're a recovery coach or a drug and alcohol counselor or anything like that, you have to do what's called supervision. Okay. And there's another person that takes their time for an hour, and you do supervision once a month and right? It's so you can do that so that you can take Medicaid. All right. or insurance at all. And it keeps people accountable. Okay. Well, I found the company that I was working for was charging my personal Medicaid for supervision for work stuff. Okay. Not legal at all. That is not even close to legal. Okay. You don't get paid for supervision. It's part of what you do in order to do what we do, but you don't get paid for supervision. Okay. Well, when we see things like that, you know, if something is too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Okay. There's a lot of people in this industry, okay, that don't want you to get well. And some of these people are in AA. Well, they say they're in AA, but they're not. They're not really. There's a lot of people in AA yes, we're all AA members, but only about 20% of the people are doing any of the work. And by work, I mean service work. That's what I mean. Not necessarily the book work. All right. So as an alcoholic and as an alcoholic and as a person that can help change somebody's life, okay, there comes a responsibility with that, a very big responsibility. Okay. And it's a moral obligation. It's a moral thing, man. So sometimes there may be something that happens to you, maybe in the program, maybe something else. Okay. And let's say it's a situation where you know that if somebody else goes into that situation, they're going to end up getting the same result also. But we say nothing. I'm here to help people. Okay. And I will not sit back and idle and let somebody else. If you do me wrong, it's going to be the last time you do wrong. Okay. Investigate. Okay. Today, I have been removing a bunch of people from the group because they're not participating. They're advertising. And that's not what the group is about. We are not a fentanyl group. We are not a drug group. We are alcoholics in that group. Okay. Now, I do a lot of stuff for recovery. Sure, I do. And if you want to listen to me and change my words to fit your addiction, great. I mean, do it. That's awesome. Okay. But I'm here to cater to the alcoholic. Why? Because I'm an alcoholic. Okay. Because I'm an alcoholic. Now, we've become very, very good, have we not, at being able to call bullshit. We know when something isn't right. We know when it isn't right. Let's say you're in a meeting. Might as well use, something that we all understand, especially in live meetings. You have a new person, young lady, cute young lady. Okay. When ladies come into the program, ladies, you need to surround them. You need to protect them. I'm more okay with a female sponsoring a male than a male sponsoring a female. And that's because I'm a male and I know what males go through. Okay. I know what they go through. I don't know if females go through the same thing. I think that sexuality is probably a little bit more tampered, controlled. I don't know. I don't know. I'm guessing. Right. I'm hoping a lady will tell me. So, um, are you going to continue let that behavior continue? Are you going to let that person hit on the next person? Right? Because it could be scary to say something. It could be scary to walk away. It could be scary to do a lot of things. When we're in fear, we might be frozen. Right? That's why we got to think before we do things. We got to think before we do things. Okay? When we start to go outside the box with life, that might put you in dangerous situations again. And as an alcoholic who's been to these places, it doesn't scare me as much. I know how to handle myself there. Right? So I can really only speak for me. And, I had to start presenting myself at a very young age. I lived in white suburbia, right? And I didn't know much of gangs and things like that. I was very, very naive. My parents, that's white suburbia for you. Well, I mean, that would change it would change in a 24-hour period where I would have to go from being this innocent little kid to being something a little more dangerous. Yeah, I'm a product of what they call the system. And that means that from 14 on, I was raised by the system. So for 4 years. Actually, it was 3.5 years because I got emancipated when I was 17. But it was funny because, not funny, we'll call it ironic. It was ironic because I would come home for pass and things like that. And the people that used to pick on me in my neighborhood, the people that used to pick on me when I went to the mall or did things, now started to avoid me. And I noticed this. They started to avoid me. No problem. No sorries here. You make it when you can. I'm not worried about. I'm just glad you're here and I love you. So I had to become a person to where if you approached me, your thought was, don't fuck with this person. I had to become that at the age of 14, 15, more like. Okay. I started dressing differently. I carried myself differently. My head was no longer down. It was up. I remember I'd walk through the mall and people would part ways. They would part ways just because of the look on my face, just because of the way I was carrying myself. Okay. And it happens to this day. It does. That's why I pick my sponsees. I'm going to tell you now, I can't remember the last time somebody asked me to sponsor them. Okay. Of course, I don't raise my hand either because I like picking my sponsees. Right. So, I've had to use this. And I'm just going to tell you something happened. Something kind of happened with my wife. And it was just a regular situation. That's why I'm talking about this, because we got to do something about it, or what happens to the next person. We got to take care of each other. If we see something wrong, if we are involved in something wrong, we got to speak up. It's hard. I know it's hard. It seems like being good and doing the right thing is harder. And it shouldn't be. It should be a natural thing. But everybody's clamoring for everything. We think that we need. I mean, take a look at this younger generation who thinks that the material things are what counts. That it's about likes and sure, we all want to be included, okay, but life does not provide a safe space. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did. Right? Hey, Amber, and don't worry about and don't say sorry you were late or anything. Yeah, when it comes to this, I have no expectations. Okay. There's been times I've come on here for a month and nobody was here. So, okay. I don't have expectations. But I know we say sorry because we're being polite. But the fact that you're my friend means you're already off the hook in my life. I let my friends and other people that I love, I let them get away with a lot because they're my friends. You know, with me. That's what I'm talking, giving me shit, things like that. And so I had to become a person where if you looked at me, your thought was, do not fuck with this person. And you were right. If you fucked with me, I would jack your life. Right now, I'm refraining from doing it to somebody. See, there's a right way to do these things. There's a right way to do these things. Okay. I am the kind of person where if you hurt my wife, I might kill you. And I'm not going to give it much thought. Okay. I'm extremely protective. I'm the lion. You must know that I am capable of doing very dangerous things. And then you must realize that I reel it in. Okay. And a lot of us do this. This is a hard topic to talk on because we don't want to think that we're dangerous people. Okay. But in this life, okay, this is the way I'm very protective of AA, right? Even though I don't have to be. I don't have to be. But that means that I'm very protective of the people in AA also. Okay. That includes the dumbass that's hitting on girls. That includes him. Okay. He's just got the wrong thing in his fucking noggin. And somebody needs to come along and get, okay. He's letting his brain interfere with what needs to be done. And I know this because I'm a man. Okay. When it comes to AA meetings, let's dress appropriately. Men and women, please. Let's dress appropriately. We are not there to put on filters, and this is not a dating place. Yeah, Amber, earlier I had said I'm going to speak on men, but I don't know about women. So I'm glad that you're saying something. Because when it comes to men, man, I mean, if you don't show too much cleavage, they're going to be on you. I'm sorry, but they are. That's just, men are that way. I'm that way. Okay? And if you're my friend, I may tell you to put the ladies away sometimes. Okay? Because it's not, and I know we want to dress comfortable and we should be who we are. Okay? I get that. I get that. We're not going to get into that whole side. What I'm talking about though is if we see or something that's going on, we need to say something. Okay. Now you don't have to do it alone. You don't. Feel free to reach out to me. I will back you up. I'll even help you speak. It's okay. Okay. Why is it hard to do it that way? Because we haven't done it before. It's the only reason. Because it's new. Oh, well, I don't want to involve the police. Police don't scare me no more. I only fear the police when I'm drinking. I only fear the police when I have a warrant out for my, you know, and I absolutely agree. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with you. Just because a person is dressed a certain way doesn't give you a right. Absolutely. Absolutely. We should all be able to dress how we want, the way that we want. But unfortunately, there's going to be things that go with that. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to tell you. Because men are idiots. We are, man. But we've got to protect each other. Maybe I just watch too much Law and Order and stuff. Because there's just way too many people. And I only use that because let's try a different route. There are people that come in and pretty much tell people that they don't need AA because they're a recovery coach. How about that one? Yeah. Do you kick that person out? I would. I probably would. Why? Because they're not a member of AA. A recovery coach. It's what they said, right? So, what I want, I'd like it to be utopian too, to where everybody can be exactly who they are, come into the room without any worries. I would like that too. But I can't control 40 people. So, the best that we can do is create our own safe space, right? Do they have a desire to quit drinking? Well, if somebody is there picking up clients, I don't consider that desire to stop drinking. And I'm creating situations. Actually, that's not a creation. It happens all the time. They usually fall under the guise of all recovery meetings. Usually, all recovery meetings means that, and I'm going to tell you, there's nothing wrong with an all recovery meeting. If the person running it, let's say I'm a recovery coach and I say, hey, I have an all recovery meeting, but I'm also a recovery coach and I do this to find clients. Oh, all right. Yeah. And see, I tend to forget sometimes, Ingrid, that I'm talking about Colorado and not everything happens the same in each state. So yeah. This may happen in life. This stuff may not even happen in meetings. You may go somewhere and something may happen. If you see something happening on the street, are you going to stop and do something about it? And these are just generalizations. If we want to get into specifics, we will be here all day, right? But what I'm saying is if we see something wrong and you know that that behavior might continue with somebody else because they did it to you, then we got to say something. Okay. It's part of our responsibilities of trying to make our community a better place. Now, why should we do it? Because we ask pertinent questions like this. Do they have a desire to stop drinking? Okay. Ingrid knew I wasn't going to get upset with that, but she can ask that question. It's pertinent. It's pertinent. Okay. We should ask these questions. I love it when I'm sitting here talking and people are like, well, what about? I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. It's okay. I'll be wrong here. I will be wrong if it makes it right. In fact, sometimes I come on here and be wrong. So you tell me what's right. Right? Now, the hardest part about speaking up, the hardest part is one, we don't feel like we should be disrupting other people's lives. It isn't the fear of speaking up, it's the fear of the confrontation itself. And that can be tough. So why should we be able to do it? Because even though we have what we might call an offender, we are not offended. Hey, dude. Now, I'm not going to kick this guy out of the meeting. Dude, you can't do that here. Okay? You can't hit a. I understand what you're going through. Okay? So, me as a male, I've got to grab that guy and take him out of the room. And you guys need to walk that girl to the car. Right? Or the girls surround. Okay? And that's where I think the definition of men with men, women with women is a good situation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that guy aside and we're going to have a personal talk. I'm not going to talk about what we would talk about here. I don't talk about that stuff here. All right. But I understand as a male. And then what I can do is I can teach him how to be better. Now, haven't we done as what we would consider the right way? Now we've done what we're supposed to. Hey, I want you to know, Dion took him out to, this stuff happens, but Dion took him out and he's going to talk with him. Okay. And of course, I'm going to have the talk of, don't you dare go back and do anything else. Okay. And I can have that conversation with him. Why? Because he knows not to fuck around with me. He knows I have his back. Okay? Just because somebody's done something wrong doesn't mean excommunication. No. It's just a chance for us to learn and grow better. And if we take it for that, then we can put aside blame. And instead of saying, well, we have two people or one needs to go, now we're going to keep them both. Oh, and even if I, with that recovery coach thing, that, it made me think more. Hey, you know what? We understand you're a recovery coach. We're doing AA here. But if you want to make like a flyer or something and put it up, go for it. There's always a way. So why do we speak up? Because we have the answers, friends. We have the answers. We have the right answers. And if we can take our own stuff and put it aside, we'll come to the right one. If I say, Ingrid is saying, if I see and hear someone in front of me, I always stand up and say something. If I hear shouting on the street outside my house, I'm guilty of not getting involved because that's something different. Okay? No, I would not want you to. No. That doesn't make you guilty. That means you got to take care of you first. Because if you don't take care of you first, okay, no, that is the right thinking. Maybe the police are probably, leave my name out of it, and they'll leave your name out of it. But then you wonder, it's like, well, I live next door. They're going to know who it was, right? Because then there's going to be blame and then blame and blame. Okay. Think of it like the 9th step. Except when to do so would injure them or others. And we've had this talk. You're the other. You're an other. Okay. So when you're doing your 9 steps or you're thinking of things, if it's going to put you in danger, the answer is no. Okay. If you don't know, talk to somebody. Okay. Sometimes problems don't get solved for another day or two. That's okay. That's okay. So, I forgot that I changed my sponsee to Mondays instead of Thursdays. So I got to get going. Because I know he's chomping at the bit. We haven't met for 2 weeks. So thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. This is a good talk. Yeah, protection as much as we can. So I love you all. I really do. Peace out and have a day.